Alright folks, small progress report here for you. Since I last spoke, I was primarily dealing with the power supply unit. I'm still awaiting the binding posts for that, although I do now have the banana plugs. 1 second, I'll just grab them. I've got a selection of these. They're inline binding posts made by Deltron. They seem to be a sort of a proper, good quality plug. So I've got them home anyway, so I can at least get going now with getting the wiring organised from the power supply when it'll be mounted down here, I think, to the electronics. Okay, sorry, there we go. Anyway, right, cracking on. You'll see a small addition to the back of the frame there. I did that yesterday. I've had the filament for since a month now maybe, and I was a bit unsure as to what to do with it. In so much that I didn't know how to organise it or arrange it or store it so that it could be fed into the extruder in a uniform, smooth manner. Now, I've gone online and there's some chaps have quite elaborate apparatus, and other lads have got sort of stands for a drum which their filament came up on. My drum just came loose in a bag, so I didn't have that. Other guys just suspend it on a bit of wooden rod or bit of dowel in a cardboard box on a shelf. I don't have a shelf, so you know it was an option I considered, but I didn't have it. So anyway, this is what I came up with. I've got a bit of laminate flooring here, 2 slots cut in it, one upwards and the other one sort of, you won't be able to see it very clearly, but the other one goes downwards, and it just sort of hooks in underneath like that and then snaps over like this, and that by itself is more than strong enough. This stuff, I worked in a chemical plant once that actually supplies the resin to bind the agent, and that's improving the whole time, that resin. And this stuff's really strong, you'd be surprised until you get water on it. But then having said that, even the newer resins are more water resistant, so yeah, that stuff's a good material to use for a lot of things. However, as you can see, it's canting over just ever so slightly to the left there. So I'm wanting to make sure that there's no possibility of this through vibration twisting round or jamming in any way. So all I needed is 4 nuts and 4 washers. But to get them on the rod, I hadn't considered this when I was building the frame, so it would mean stripping all the parts out, and which might affect the alignment and all that. So I needed a solution. I looked online and I couldn't find an M8 half nut, which was what I was sort of leaning towards. I thought about clips or Jubilee clips, possibly all sorts of different fasteners that could just clip round here in some manner and tighten up. But there wasn't really, you had industrial solutions, but they were obviously expensive. There was nothing sort of, no mass market generic clip or that I could really find that was suitable for the task. So what I've come up with is very basic really. M8 nut, sawn in half. Okay, none fancy, that's it. I file it smooth, the ends, take the burrs off it, make sure the threads are clean, and you know, obviously the other half is also in line with it. That's the wrong way around, is it? Hold on. This one might need a little bit of work. It's not running quite very smoothly yet. But it just goes on there like so, yeah. And then it's just simply little Jubilee clip, pull tight till had it. Now that actually works surprisingly well. I was a bit dubious about it, but it works, eh? So that's what I'm going to do. It's just to give it a little bit extra strength, you know, just to maybe steady it up a little bit. Now moving on to the barrel itself, or the drum, all we have here is a Cadbury's Celebrations Sweetie drum, or tub. Drilled a M8 hole through the middle with a M8 bolt and a penny washer. Another penny washer and a couple of nuts to hold it in place. I've got the lid here reversed, and the sort of the base of the drum is sitting on top of the lid. Now I'd hoped that the I don't know what you'd call it, this flange or lid protrusion in combination with the lid itself on the base would be enough to hold the filament, but it wasn't. It just looked like it was going to slip over and get into a knot and whatnot. So I just cut out a couple of discs out of cardboard out of the box that the filament came in, and just slid them on there. They're not glued in place or anything, they're just sort of pushed up against that flange, and the lid here holds this one in place. And that's that, you know. It rotates freely. I'm hoping that'll be free enough. We'll see, you know. It'll do for now anyway, you know. Not very pretty. Looks a little bit flimsy. Oh, well, it is flimsy, but it's like I say, it's not taking a lot of stress. Yeah, it's just, you know, it is what it is. Right. What else? I finally got the header pins home. I got them today, so now I can crack on with getting all the wiring. Hold on, the wiring here. Get all the pins soldered on to the wiring. Then I can start connecting the motors up to the breadboard here, or not the breadboard, but the printed circuit board, the RAM's 1.4. I've dug out the extruder. I'm looking at the methods to fix that onto the bottom of the that's not the extruder, sorry, that's the hot end. Yeah, there's a little heated chamber in there. That fixes onto the extruder carriage. I'll need to look at that. I've had a little bit of disappointing news regarding the power supply. My power supply is something like, was it 200 or 250 watts. The 12 volt rail supplies power at, or has power taken from it, at 15 amps, and the 5 volt rail can supply up to 16 amps. But if I want to run the hotbed, I'll be needing in the region of 17 to 18 amps, so it's not sufficient to actually power the hotbed. Most people recommend that you buy a 12 volt power supply with 20 amps. So, however, with the PLA plastic, it's not necessarily required to have a hotbed. Yeah, I just wanted that there in case I ever decided to switch to ABS. PLA, I can't remember the properties of PLA specifically now, but it seems it's meant to print onto a cold surface reasonably well. ABS is, I can't remember if it's stronger or if it's more flexible, but it needs the hotbed to stick to it and, you know, adhere somewhat. So that's, well, you know, at least I've got it there for the future. If I ever just need to upgrade, I can. Okay, yeah, that's about it, folks. What else was there? Oh yeah, I got some new. You won't have noticed this, but I got some new socket head or Allen bolts here. Basically, the ones that had been mounted previously were just on the short side. They weren't really catching the nuts on the back very well, so I ordered up a pack of 10, got them replaced, so they're actually penetrating all the way through the nut now. So that now is very secure, more secure than it was. I had to shift it somewhat, just lower it slightly just to give room for this bracket here. But my list of things to do is decreasing all the time now, and there's not a lot left. I've got the carriage suspended now. I've got the what do they call them? I can't remember the correct name for that currently, but the connectors or couplings in place. They seem to be working quite well. I don't know how well they'll work under power, but that's turning that is relatively free by hand, and as I do so, this side of the carriage is certainly moving up and down. I don't want to do that too much, obviously, because it'll put strain on the other side, but that seems to be working quite well. So I'm thinking I'm quite close to doing my first run. I've still got the power supply is the problem. I'm still waiting on getting it finished, and there's one or two little bits to tidy up, and I've got the wiring to do, and things like that. But yeah, right folks, that's 12 minutes up already, so until next time, cheerio for now.